If it makes you money or brings us happiness, you'll find it right here. This is The Purple Tie Show. Welcome to the show. I'm Robert.
I'm Blake.
And today we're joined with Stoli of Quantum Advertising Company. And I think we're going to talk about how we're kind of stepping out to help our clients.
Before we get into that, Stoli, can you say your last name for me? I don't know that I've ever heard it spoken out loud.
It's all consonants.
It's all consonants. I don't know how to say it.
No vowels.
It's a pretty Greek name. So my last name is Tsilikas. My full first name is Apostoli, but I just go by Stoli. It's a lot easier for friends, family, clients to just go off that name. I guess it sticks more. Doesn't confuse too many people. But
yeah, it's for the people in the South. For us to be able to say it.
You're owner and operator of Quantum Advertising, based out of New Jersey.
Yes, New Jersey, and I would say also Philadelphia. That's where the office is actually located at. But majority would be Philadelphia and New Jersey. Yes, correct.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. Yeah.
And you typically work with implant dentists. Okay.
So to be specific, before we dive into that. Yeah. So it's more dentists and oral surgeons, more cosmetic dentists as well. But more about that, it's something new that I've developed. Quantum Advertising Company, we were really more of like a generalist digital marketing company, an agency helping out, anywhere between restaurants, supermarkets, roofers, contractors, and not really specializing into one niche. And that's something that I'm just doing now. Last month, it's been shifting towards implant patients on demand, which is a new program under Quantum Advertising Company, which we have a system that's actually backed by Harvard Business Review on contacting web-generated leads and booking them directly into oral surgeons' calendars and dentist calendars for implant patients, because dental implants on average are $4,800. So it's a very big high-ticket service that dentists have and oral surgeons have. Very, very profitable if you know how to have the right system set up. So that's really what we're geared towards now. Me and the team are working on that. And it's been working out pretty well. We're going to launch ads either this week or next week. We have this coronavirus thing, which I know we're going to dive into as well. But you got to pivot. You got to be able to pivot quickly, and that's what's going to help people either evolve or they're going to die in this situation. So we're in that phase of evolving and taking it into the next level for not just only the agency and the new program, but for also our clients.
Yeah. I think, for us, a lot of our clients, are elective type surgeons, plastic surgeons, bariatric surgeons, stuff like that. And they just can't work. They're like, nope, no elective surgeries. So a lot of our clients are just, trying to figure out, okay, what do I do now? Like telemedicine doesn't make, I saw an ad. Now, I don't know if I, tagged you in it or not, but it was like a dude that was running to spa owners, and he was like, take your business offline. I'm like, how do you give a massage offline? Is that a like how does that work? So I feel like a lot of marketers are trying to pivot now, and so I think this is going to separate the men from the boys, right?
Yeah.
This whole virus thing is going to separate I've been playing the marketing game for a little while, but I haven't really dove really deep, and I don't really know I haven't been in the trenches. So I might just go get a job, right? And so I think that's going to be a lot of people that's kind of played in this. I mean, we've been in it long enough that we know how to pivot.
Exactly.
And stay profitable and that sort of thing. But I really feel like a lot of these pop-up, digital marketing, I just use air quotes. I'm bad about that on the show. So I feel like a lot of people will just say, screw it, I'm going to go get a job.
Right. We don't have a lot of these people are just grasping, like they don't really know what to do. So they're just like the guy that you said was advertising for do-it-yourself massages at home or whatever the heck he was talking about. So it's like heat your own stones and lay them on your back. I see a lot of scalded backs and a lot of lawsuits from that.
Yeah. So here's the thing. It is a he's like, oh, telemedicine for, bring your spot. And I'm like, so one of the comments on it today, because now I'm invested, right? I'm going to follow it. So one of the comments was a spa owner that was like, so how do I do cool sculpting over the internet?
Wow.
And I was like, okay.
Yeah, so you bring up a lot of good points here. And I kind of like what Blake said on that, because that kind of reminds me about, it's, my parents in the restaurant industry. It's like the only solutions are really just using delivery services, people dropping off food at home, one of the biggest industries that got hit. But I don't want to dwell too much on that. There's one thing that you brought up where it's like there's these digital marketers that come in and, oh, telemedicine, all this, all that. And there are going to be some business owners that bite on it because of shiny object syndrome. They're trying to find a solution as quickly as possible and pivot. Completely understand that. But at the end of the day, you can have these virtual consultations. That's 100% great. But what's the volume going to be like? Some questions that I ask myself, right? Volume, quality of people. There are people at home. It's right now is 100%. So everyone that's listening to this right now is the best time ever to go in, and whether we do your marketing strategy or whatever it is for digital marketing, internet marketing, online marketing, because everyone's at home.
Yep.
You get to get more behavior. You get to get more data tracking. All that stuff is there because right now your billboard that's on the highway, no one's looking at it because no one can leave their house.
Did anyone ever look at it before? I'm just curious.
Absolutely not. But now we're in this phase now where everything, we look at businesses, whether it's restaurants, doctors, dentists, surgeons, everything is online. Mm-hmm. And now the big problem that poses for oral surgeons and dentists is, how do I do a virtual consultation? Now, you can do a virtual consultation right now. I actually just saw somebody with their own practice, orthodontics, just take pictures of their teeth with their smartphone, send it in, and then we can discuss a treatment plan. But how do you do that if you're missing 6 or 7 teeth? You need an arc, or you need a bridge, or you need dental implants. It's way too difficult because there's bone grafting needs to be done. There's scanning that has to be done of the mouth. There's a lot more in depth. So this kind of goes full circle with the whole spa treatment, because you can get bookings, you can get consultations 2-3 months from now. We don't even know what's going to happen 2-3 months from now.
Right.
But now what I feel like from the message that you're saying and from everyone that's listening right now, it's a very big pivoting point, because this is what's going to separate the men from the boys. This is what's going to separate those that have the pandemic and they're switching up and they want to be ranking on Google. They want to attract their ideal patients. They want to have the right brand reputation, which is so critical because like 90% everyone goes through Google reviews, and we want to buy something on Amazon. What do? We look at the ones with the best reviews. We look at the videos. We look at the copy and say, oh crap, I want to get this mic. I want to get this thing for my business. And we end up buying it. And this is the same exact way consumers behave to book for your spa, to put stones on their back, to get dental implants, which I'm focusing on now, or even with you right now, right? With all your other different clients that are plastic surgeons and in the medical field. So this is the time. More than anything, whoever's listening to this and they're debating whether or not, do I go into internet marketing? This is the time, more than ever, because the people that come out of this, they're going to be 10x, 5x. I hate using the word 10x, but 10x, whatever it is, their business, because they've just invested and they re-strategized and they went through and they have a beautiful website. They have all this stuff set up. So when they come out, the people that are on the bottom that are still with the crappy website, not sized on mobile, not sized on tablet, all this stuff, they're going to be closing their doors.
Yep.
I guarantee you that. Even if they have money in reserves in the merchant account, whatever they have, within the next 6 months, by the end of 2020, you're going to see who's going to be making videos, have the authority, have the brand reputation, have all that. It's going to be so black and white where there's just going to be these big waves of practices, any other industry, restaurants, whatever it is, that they're all digital. Oh my God, they have Facebook posts, they have people coming in, they have testimonials, versus the guys that are still sitting there like, why is my phone not ringing? But that's business, guys. That's business, right? And you can't really blame anyone. That the only person that you have to blame, and it's tough, is the business owner themselves, because they didn't evolve.
Yeah.
And that's why I want to come back to the last thing. It's evolve or die in this situation.
Yeah. I always go, and Blake's a big advocate of this, I always go straight for the 1-star reviews on Amazon to determine if I want to buy something. It's like, I want to see what other people think about this product. Is it really like it? And a lot of them's like, well, the postal service took forever to deliver it. Like, that's not the product. So it gives you a better idea of what you're actually buying.
One thing that you said earlier that me and Robert's talked about before, I don't know if we've talked about it on the podcast or not, but you said we were talking about telemedicine, but we were also previously talking about doing tax services over video conference and doing that with one of our other clients. And you were talking about quality of customers over telemedicine.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, you know, with orthodontists and things that need x-rays and things like that, it'll be tough, but that gets into technology, and you know, the new iPad's got a LiDAR on it and all this other crap. So I mean, you know, getting metrics at home is getting easier and easier. But Robert likes to tell a story about Miss Betty going into the tax return place and spending an hour talking to the CPA, because she's been doing her taxes with that CPA for 30 years. And now she's going to sit there for an hour and jack her jaws, probably the same way up north, I would assume.
And so how many more clients could you see if you didn't have Miss Betty jacking her jaws?
That's a good question. That's a very good question. I think where telemedicine,
would you lose Miss Betty? Would you lose Miss Betty because she can't go see her CPA except on the computer?
I feel like there's two things to this. The first part is getting new clients and actually serving your current clients. I think that's the two biggest things within telemedicine. I was fortunate enough, you know, my grandfather's 80 years old. He has, you know, a gastroenterologist, a cardiologist, his regular family medicine doctor. And his gastroenterologist actually gave him a phone call, and he did a full consultation. I was there. I rang into the phone call, and it was just very basic. How are you feeling? Is there any pain? Right? Very consultative process, but again, over the phone, right? So it wasn't really telemedicine. All he did was, I'm just going to call you at this time, and they basically performed exactly what was going to happen, right? Now, of course, someone's probably saying, well, I have an orthodontist practice. I have a spa. I have this. I have that. How am I supposed to do a consultation over the phone over my current clients, right? So there's a whole different ballgame in all the different markets, different niches that you're in the specific market of in the medical field. But it just really depends on what you really want to do, because I can tell someone to say, dude, telemedicine, you're going to make so much money out of it. You're probably not going to make a lot of money out of it, right? You're really just testing out to see how your client base, your list is really reacting. Because there's 2 points, and I kind of explained this in the implant patient on demand system, where there's a point where you're building a list and then you serve the list, right? Because telemedicine, you're not going to build a list that's, oh my God, I just opted in. I want to get on a telemedicine call with the orthodontist. That's ridiculous, to be honest, because the end user is the loser. Let me say that again. The end user is the loser because they're not going to know what to expect, because this is a first-time experience.
I see telemedicine as a retaining your current base of clients.
Yes, and that's where I was just going, because you can serve your list, because I saw that firsthand. I was lucky because I saw my grandfather go through that. The doctor was serving his patient, saying, hey, I know that you're on medicine right now. I know you're one of my current clients. What I would like to do is set up a phone call, set up something virtual. We can connect to make sure that if there's any pain, are you feeling better? Is the medication working? That stuff is great. I love that. I really love that. And even what I like is, even if it's not a productive conversation, you know what that says? Damn, this guy actually cares. The doctor picked up the phone and called me personally. I love that. It wasn't his assistant. It wasn't an associate doctor. It is the owner of that business that said, hey, how are your teeth? Or, hey, how was the plastic surgery? How was that cool sculpting? Are you working out? Are you staying active? And there's sometimes you can really impact them if you know how to go ahead and just kind of consult them and come from that frame that, you really care. And that really creates clients for life, nurture for life, right? We talk about that again in Implant Patients on Demand, but that's what I think. And I 100% agree with you on that, Robert. That's why I think serving your current customer base with telemedicine is way more effective. I could be wrong. Right?
Than trying to go get new patients.
Than trying to go get new patients and sell them on telemedicine, because that's something that no one's even done yet. Yeah.
So the other pivoting point that nobody wants to talk about, and me and Blake kind of had this discussion yesterday, think about all the people that are about to lose their insurance. I mean, this is a very sad time. I'm not downplaying this at all. There's going to be a lot of people that lose their jobs. There's going to be a lot of people that lose their insurance, and they're going to be looking for doctors who, one, will take cash payments and work without insurance. So there's going to be a lot of direct pay patients that come out of this. And I think now's the time to start pivoting, so that when those direct pay patients start looking for your practice, whether you're a family medicine doctor,
right.
Plastic surgery and stuff like that, a lot of that's cash pay anyway. But if I just need a checkup, or I got the sniffles and I need to go see my doctor, I've got two options. I can go to a Doc in a Box and pay $500 for my first visit, or I can keep seeing the doctor that I've been seeing for years and just pay that out of pocket. So, and it's a win-win for the doctor too. Is what we were looking at yesterday.
I've been a cash pay patient for a number of years now. Whenever I joined Robert and started doing the whole entrepreneur thing, I really haven't had health insurance for a long time now, but I couldn't afford health insurance, to be sure. And maybe 2 years ago, I thought I'd broken my wrist. So I went to a local urgent care and paid $200 to be told that my wrist was severely bruised. And they gave me a couple of injections for various problems that they found while I was in there. But $200 for a bruised wrist, that was a lot of money for me. However, in recent months, I have found a direct pay practitioner, and she's great. I pay her monthly, a small fee, takes care of all of my physicals and office visits. And, I can text her, I can call her, I can email her, and I get responses very quickly. That is nothing I ever had going to a general family doctor before now.
But that's where it's going to be. That's where it's going is, hey, Dr. Brian's my, doctor, and, I got this problem, and I just text him, or I just text the office. Our office number is, you can text our office number, and we're able to text back and forth. So I feel like that's the way a lot of these practices are going to stay afloat. The ones that are going to stay afloat, that's the way they're going to do it.
And hey, the other thing I also want to mention too is if you look at Care Credit, all the different types of options for flexible payment plans, that's also going to be a pretty big thing too. I don't want to discount that. I love the whole cash thing, because there are going to be people that don't have insurance, but also being flexible with payments, especially in the cosmetic field, because even now that there's a recession, the people that still want cosmetics, they're actively looking for dental implants in New York, dental implants, Denver, wherever you're at. You still have, if you're on the top of the list, guess what, buddy? You're going to get all those people, because they are actively in the market for that service. Yep. Again, they're actively at market. They're in the market for that service. If someone's looking for roofing, if someone's looking for siding, they're actively looking for somebody, which just means that they're raising their hand.
Yep.
And there's no one more powerful in terms of a customer. Digital marketing 101, right? Someone raising their hand, you better contact them.
Yep. And quickly in this day and age.
Quickly. Yeah. So, and that's where again, that's probably the biggest thing. I think a lot of different business owners, they don't want to talk about it. Their follow-up game is very weak. They can be generating these leads, and oh my God, how many times have the three of us heard, oh yeah, lead generation. That's all baloney in my opinion, because again, we got to kick out all those tire kickers. We got to get rid of all those window shoppers. It's a very big thing right now in the real estate niche, different type of industry, but in real estate, it's a very big thing that people just window shop on those listings on Facebook. They submit their name, email, phone number, but they're just looking, right?
Yeah.
That's a waste of time if your team is sitting there stressing out. Oh my God, a lead came in. They're scrapping. They're in the middle of all the three things, and you don't have a lead handler or an ISA, an inside sales agent, to take care of that. You are wasting so much time. And guess what? You know who else is probably having their own ISA? You know who else is probably on the top of Google? You know who else has a really good internet marketing strategy? Your number one competitor.
Yep.
And they're kicking your ass right now, even with everyone being at home.
Yep.
They're kicking your ass and eating your lunch.
Yep. And so the issue is that number, that top guy, right? That right. top competitor probably gets about 75%
of
all the new business. Not even traffic. We're talking new business. Like, hey, I need a dentist. And I search for a, dentist in Austin, Texas or whatever.
Yeah.
That big competitor gets 75% of the traffic. And that's just that. Yeah. If top three are kind of that 75% range. And if you don't adapt now to realize, hey, everyone's at home, everyone's searching. I have a bariatric surgeon right now whose ad just went from 3,000 people a day seeing it for the same budget. Now gets seen by 8,000 people a day. And it's like, the
same
reason
budget,
everyone's at home, that's why everyone's seeing it. So now's the time to it's, God, I hate to use this term, but it's like shooting fish in a barrel.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a sad term to use at this exact time.
So I also think one of the biggest questions is, if there's a practice owner that's listening to this right now, or you're in the medical field, I think a lot of the biggest questions that they're saying, or people will probably come to us and ask, would be like, how do I right now, whether I have a lead generation strategy, an offer, how do I actually serve my new clients? Right? There's a very big question there. And how do I actually take advantage of this opportunity to get ahead?
So I think here's the thing as far as getting ahead right now. I think now's the time that you hunker down, and Blake's the web design guy, so we'll pick on him for a minute. So I think now's the time to hunker down and fix the crap that you've been putting off for years and years and years or months. And this thing on the website doesn't really work, and this doesn't really look good, or the branding's not the same on the website as it is on the business card, as it is on the door. Now's the time to get your crap together so that you come out of this as one of the leading practices. And I'd be interested for Blake to chime in on the whole, website thing.
So the thing that a lot of people are going to run into, nowadays is not design stuff. It's, last year before, Europe passed the whole GDPR where you've got to allow people to opt in to having cookies, and that's supposed to be worldwide. You're supposed to have that on all of your websites. A lot of people don't.
Yep.
Accessibility is going to become a big thing. You're going to need to have accessibility options on your website. Otherwise, we talked about it earlier on a podcast several months ago, you could be sued. It's a possibility. One thing that I was really surprised about is people are a lot more concerned about conversions now over design. They are not really caring what their website looks like as long as it converts. As long as they get people into their lists, into their funnels, however you want to describe retaining a client once they come to your website.
Yep.
They're much more concerned about that. It could look like a big old steaming pile of dog turd, but as long as it converts, it's going to be fine. last thing, and then I'll let you guys sort of process all this, is personalization. People love to be able to personalize stuff. If you can have options for, you know, a specific theme, a colorization of the website, especially since we've talked about accessibility, you know, being colorblind, people need to have those options so that they can properly consume the content that you have. So those are the big four.
Wow.
I think personal branding is you know, it wasn't as important, say, probably 6 months ago, but I feel like personal branding, and Stoli, you've been through this too. We both been through this whole getting new pictures made and you know, going through that process of, you know, building our brand, building our personal brand. I really feel like docs need that personal branding, even if their clinic is like, you know, best New Jersey dentist ever.
Let me get y'all's opinion on this. I work with a doctor now who has a GMB listing for his practice and a GMB listing for his name. Thoughts?
You're probably going to get penalized if it's under the same address. So you want to just have it focused on one. This is just my perspective on it, because you also want to be getting the reviews to one listing and rank it for one listing. So right now, the biggest player, before Robert hops in here, the biggest player is, and Robert and I mastermind on this a lot, Google reviews is right now, the algorithm's changing to where the top 3 in the map pack that everyone sees on their phone, that everyone loves looking at in reference to the location, the top 3 in the map pack is now, if you look at it, it's starting to change a little bit. The ones that have the most positive reviews are the guys that are up top. So you'll see 4.8 stars, then 4.6 stars, and 4.2 stars. And guess what? 4.2 might have 1,600 reviews, but that guy at the top that has the best reputation only has 20 or 30 reviews and has a crappier website, like what Blake is saying, but that's just converting. He's the guy that's winning. He's the guy that's raking in all the cash.
So the other thing is, if you can get your, you know, patients or clients to leave specific wording in their review, like talk about what they went in, you know, hey, you know, Dr. Brian did my dental implant and he was amazing. And like the fact that that review uses dental implant in the review, when somebody searches for dental implants in, you know, Austin, Texas or whatever, then that's gonna show up because Google goes, oh, well, he's got a review that actually mentions implant, like dental implants, or plastic surgeon, or I mean, the list goes on and on. Just so I agree with you on the, you know, 2 listings. It's really important to have that one. Maybe you have the one primary, because a lot of times what happens is you get the practice who has a listing, but then the doctor is kind of his own like thing because somebody has, you know, inevitably put him on a list somewhere or something like that. So Google's like, oh, here's Dr. So-and-so, but the clinic is, you know, whatever. And so I feel like that's how that gets started, but it is a pain because people leave reviews on both of them. And so you don't get that, hey, this dude has 26 positive reviews. No, his listing has 16, and then the practice has 10. They're all great, but they're not together.
Yeah.
Well, I want to side tangent real quick because you brought up something that made me think about this. When I was in college and I was learning how to do animation and all that garbage, it sort of felt like being a magician and knowing all the tricks. So you sort of lose your, I don't really know how to describe it. It's like whenever I watch a movie now, I'm picking out all the technicalities of it. I'm not just enjoying the movie. You know what I'm saying? So as digital marketers, as people who do this for a living, you look at those search results and you think, oh, well, I know exactly why this person's at the top. I know exactly why this person's at number 2. And you see the little snippets underneath and people just ignore them, but we see them. You know, this website mentions dental implants. This review or this listing has a review that mentions dental implants. And, you know, a lot of people will just not even register that that's there, but we see it. And we think, how do I get that review from my patient, my client, my patient? Yeah. I guess they are technically patients. I mean, they're pretty sick right now, but.
So everybody is a patient at this point. So, and I think that's a valid point, a very, so from a dentist or a doctor, like a plastic surgeon, let's say, we work with a couple of plastic surgeons, they do a breast augmentation. That's not something that somebody wants to go on there and like leave. Hey, I went to Dr. So-and-so to have breast augmentation. Like, and Google's not going to let you post a before and after. So, it's difficult to get them to mention.
I don't know. I just redid a website for a plastic surgeon who does breast augmentation, and there were before and afters.
Oh, hold on a second. Robert's talking about the actual review, not on the website.
Not on the website, but
the website makes sense, yeah. But if you're saying before and after pictures on the Google review, I don't think it's gonna let you. I don't think it's gonna let you leave it.
No. Yeah, probably not. Probably not.
Especially those before and afters. But so I think that having them mention, the term plastic surgeon or plastic surgery is okay, but getting them to go into greater detail to help you rank for other things like breast augmentation gets thousands upon thousands of searches. I tell you something else that gets a lot of searches, and that is implant removal, because they had a recall and some leak and all this other stuff. And so, implant removal is a big search term right now. But how do you get somebody to go in and say, hey, Dr. So-and-so, my plastic surgeon, did a great job, removing my implant? Like, how do you can't, I feel like you really need to guide the patient into how to leave the review, but how do you do that as a doctor without sounding like a sleazebag?
One of the things that I've seen doctors do, and I don't know that I agree with it 100%, but I mean, he did it. He straight up printed half-page instructions on how to leave Google reviews, and he handed it out to each person that left the facility. Had little places to write in, you should mention what I did, which was this. You should mention, my name. Make sure that the practice name is in there. And I went to this practice. He performed this specific procedure perfectly or whatever. But he had instructions. He said, if you feel like I did a good job, leave me a review. Here's how you do it. And just guided them that way.
I'm trying to remember who that was, but we won't mention their name.
We won't mention their name. I'll put it in chat. That's what I'll do.
We'll talk. Because now I'm curious. I'm like, who? Hang on, let me bring chat open so that I can see this.
So mercy. I definitely think the brand reputation thing is very big. I know right now, in terms of the system that we have, that's probably step 5 of the implant patients on demand system, where I actually think still, right now it's April Fool's, right? Right now it's April 1st, 2020. Yep. And I really still believe that if there's one area in internet marketing that's overlooked and all the money is left on the table, brand reputation. I'm telling you right now, sure. more than personal branding, more than having the perfect pictures on Facebook, more than website design. I think the most money that's left on the table is on reputation, because right now what's happening is consumer behavior is changing so rapidly with mobile, with Amazon, with e-commerce. People are just overlooking the fact that before a buying decision is made, whether it's a dental implant, an orthodontist, breast augmentation, going to Walmart to pick up something, going to pick up a product at Home Depot, everybody looks at reviews. And all the money is left on the table there, because right now what's happening, at least in my business, we're setting up a cohesive system. It's not, we're going to sell you brand reputation for $1,500 a month. Because if that one thing works, what happens if all the other parts of his business are screwed?
Yeah.
That's like having the 8th floor all pretty, and then from foundation up to the 8th floor is completely crap, right? We don't, that's kind of what really separates, I believe, us, Purple Tie Guys, Quantum Advertising Company, Implant Patients on Demand, versus a lot of other people, a lot of other digital marketers, because they're just selling one piece, one Band-Aid to stick onto the foundation, which is, oh, you need Facebook ads. Oh, you need this. Oh, you need that. No, you need a complete cohesive system, or else none of it's going to work from step 1 to step 5, from A to Z, or else it's not going to work. And that's probably the biggest pain, biggest frustration that a lot of our ideal clients have, because they deal with other digital marketers like, oh, well, this guy promised this and this guy promised that. And then we come out of nowhere and we have a whole different frame. And that's what gives advantage, major advantage. But to end my little statement that I'm saying here, brand reputation 100% is where all the money is left on the table. And I remember that, I think Blake brought it up with personal branding before we dived into the whole Google My Business situation with the 2 listings. Personal branding more than ever right now. If the doctor wants his face or her face on a magazine, bestdocs.com, best docs in Philadelphia, best docs in Denver, they have to have a personal brand. They have to be making videos, 5-minute videos, 10-minute videos, once or twice a month of saying, hey, my name is Dr. blah, blah, blah. Here is a dental implant. Here's the process. Here's a customer. Here is a patient review. Here is a case study. And they're speaking in front of the camera. They're telling all the pains, all the problems, painting the picture, painting all of their vision of their new smile, and bridging the gap with their service the same way we do as digital marketers for our clients. That's number 1 way to grow their personal authority brand. And all you need is this thing right here. You can use a phone if you're resourceful enough. If not, hey, hire one of us to do it. Hire a team to do it,
I've seen great video and great photos that's straight out of an iPhone. I mean, you don't have to have anything super duper fancy.
Believe it or not, here's a crazy statistic that I've been fortunate enough to actually hear, that iPhones, content curated from iPhone, will convert better than having a big picture, all this cool text and virtual stuff flying around in your video. This converts more because people see it as more authentic, more real, not
genuine,
staged, very genuine to communicate with your ideal customers. So that's why I walk into my clients at iPhone. I'm like, oh, you're gonna do an iPhone? I'm like, yeah, I don't use flashy lights and red cameras that are cost $20,000. It's not really a point to do that. This converts more.
Yeah,
you're more concerned about conversion than the actual prettiness of it, right? And I'm like, yeah, I want more customers. That's why we're here.
And that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah, basically what they're doing now on their own, because they can now. 10 years ago would have been the doctor goes on the local news channel and answers questions that somebody calls in. And because we've talked about that, there were doctors in town that we used to do work for, and they would go on the local news channel in the mornings on Saturday or whatever, and people would call in and say, hey, I've got a bunion. How do I fix my bunion? And they would tell them how to do that. But now you just put out the video yourself, put it on your website, put it on your YouTube channel, put it on Twitter, put it on Facebook, put it everywhere.
And then you can chop it up into segments and syndicate that content. I love that still, believe it or not. It's still like if you're a plastic surgeon that's on what is it, Botched or one of these other shows on E! Network and E! News that are, the celebrity effect is created through what you're talking about. And when you have that celebrity effect, no matter what industry you're in, doctor, roofer, digital marketers like us that own businesses, when you have that celebrity effect, it's not really going to go away as long as you syndicate that content. Yeah. And I love what you just said there, Blake, because there's still people like, oh, well, I want to be on the news and I want to be like that. How does it start now? You got to have a good website. You got to have a good Facebook. You got to have a good YouTube, because you're like, who the heck is this guy? Unless you have a really good referral and you have someone that says, hey, we want to share your story. We want to have someone dial in and say, hey, I have this problem with my tooth. Here's the pain. All right. And you see the whole diagnosis live and yep, right. And the guy's shaking his head and the whole rapport is happening. Holy crap. It's hypnotizing almost, right? But right now, it's all reliant on how these people pick who's on the news. All comes from social media now. So it's kind of reversed. It's a little bit different. Because the traditional way, the radio, the newspaper, and the news, unfortunately, back then, you had no way to track what the performance was like. Same thing with billboards. But now if you get launched on, Good Morning America, you can take that video, plop it on your YouTube, plop it on your Facebook, track all the views, build an audience, remarket to them. Now it's changed the game.
So I made a statement at the lecture that I did for the Southern Medical Association. I made a statement that, took a lot of doctors and they were like, oh my God. Like it was an aha moment for them. YouTube is the new television, right? You don't sit down and watch, Mork and Mindy. I'm showing my age now. You don't sit down and watch Mork and Mindy on a Saturday. You go and pop open YouTube and, watch either stupid crash videos or, actually learn something, watch how something's made. I mean, there's tons of
and I know right now there's definitely someone listening to this like, oh, what are you talking about? I still watch TV, right? I 100% get that. We're looking at the new generation of doctors too.
Yep.
Because doctors that are in the hospitals, doctors that are taking breaks right now because of COVID-19 and they're working crazy shifts, the doctors right now that are sitting on their phone between operating procedures, what are they looking at? They're on YouTube looking at videos, or they're watching Netflix, or they're consuming some sort of content.
Yep.
Right?
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
All of that attention is going.
Yep.
And money flows where attention goes.
Yep.
One of my favorite sayings. So, and all that attention right there, right now, is on YouTube. And if no one has watched Robert's lecture, you better watch that because I loved it. I learned so much from that. Great lecture. Great lecture.
That's awesome. The other statement, bringing this back to the Google My Business thing, that I said in the lecture as well, is online reviews have, and I said this years ago. Blake remembers when I first said this. The person I said it to was
not, but go ahead.
Well, your memory, man, your memory. I won't go there. But I said it a couple of years ago, and the person was like, "Oh my God, you just revolutionized my business." Online reviews are absolutely, I'm going to give you a moment to really listen to what I'm about to say. Online reviews are the new word of mouth. That is exactly what's happening.
100%. And sort of going back to what we were talking about before with YouTube and, recording content, putting it all out there, you've got the opportunity, especially right now, if you don't have the ability to open your practice or open your business, go out there and record a whole bunch of YouTube videos, go ahead and upload them, get them out there. That way, in the future, if someone's looking for your reputation, what you stand for, what you can do for them, you have a whole catalog of stuff they can go back and watch and react to. Reviews being the new word of mouth is just a component of the brand awareness. You've got to have that because, 30 years ago, word of mouth was the thing. That and newspaper ads. I mean, newspapers are going away. You were talking about how the doctors are sitting at home or whatever. They're taking breaks and they're watching YouTube on their phone, or they're playing games, just trying to take their mind off of the disaster that's happening out in the world. And there's ads. There's ads on everything. Everything. You've got promoted tweets on Twitter. You've got ads on Facebook. You've got banner ads and pop-up ads and video ads and interactive ads on every type of application that you can think of.
Now is the time to have a mailing list. If you are a doctor, a dentist, an orthodontist, a plastic surgeon, if you take out ingrown toenails for a living, now is the time to have a mailing list. And you take your iPhone and you go, hey, it's Dr. So-and-so. Just wanted to, let my patients know whatever is really important. My feelings on this. I want you to be safe. Here's, what we're doing as a practice. And then email that link and go, hey, here's a personal message from the doctor to all his patients.
And that's something key you just said.
Dude, that's brand awareness.
Yeah, you also said personal message.
Yep.
Personalization in that is very powerful, very impactful, because I'll tell you this. if I got a selfie video from a doctor, like even if he's walking his dog outside, because he took the time out of his day, because I respect my doctor's time, right? My doctor, whether it's a life or death situation, whether he's putting stones on my back, if he's whatever, a plastic surgeon, I guess, he won't be putting stones on my back. I guess if he's helping me out with my teeth, I'm respecting that guy. You know, I'm really respecting his time. And for him to say, hey, here's what's going on in my practice, we're doing this, that, and the other, very important that you have that list.
Yeah.
Right?
Hey,
you can still be building that list. It's not a problem. It's just that you can't get them to convert as easy. In my opinion, right now, that's the kind of the challenge right now, is that we have these leads that are getting booked into appointments that are saying, yeah, I'm home now. I got time. I want to get a rhinoplasty done. I want to get a tummy tuck done. I want to get a dental implant done for the implant patients on demand program. But now, you know, I got a call from a client. He's like, what do we do now with these? I go, honestly, book them in your calendar. You have their information, their name, their email, all the HIPAA compliant information, their date of birth. Have they seen another doctor before? Yep, all that stuff. Just keep it on your desk. And when everything opens back up, you have your lead handler say, hey, we had a phone call, blah, 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 on this date. We have an opening, because I remember you said that you prefer Wednesdays at noon. Would you want to do Wednesday at noon next week? It's pretty, I'm making it sound so easy right now, obviously, but this is the type of kind of pivoting that we see with business owners, oral surgeons, cosmetic dentists, that a lot of them are in this kind of this zone where I think there's three things right now. And this is from, shout out to Jason Capper, one of my mentors, where he said there's three ways that people react to a pandemic. It's fight, where they're going to fight through this no matter what. They're going to make their dollars. They're going to really come up top. Flight, they're going to run away from their problem, close down their doors, not do anything and stay at home about it, not build their website. And there's also freeze. And this is where I had kind of an epiphany, because there's those business owners right now that are dentists, orthodontists, oral surgeons, plastic surgeons, that they just don't know what to do in this situation. They just don't know. And that's completely fine, because medical school didn't teach you what to do in the middle of a pandemic.
Well, here's what my issue, and there's a doc, Dr. Una. She's amazing. She was also at the conference that we did, and she talks about being an entrepreneur. Like, yeah, you're a doctor, but you also need to be an entrepreneur. You need to have that business mindset. And the issue is a lot of, doctors aren't, business owners, and so they freeze.
Well, we experienced that. One of our clients, a lot of our clients, the first day that the panic buying started 2-3 weeks ago, whenever it was now, we had several that called us up and was like, hey, stop all the payments, stop everything, stop it all. And one client called us back about a week later and said, you know what, I think I kind of panicked. Can we resume and change what we're doing a little bit? And yes, of course, we can do that for sure. But he had that epiphany. He said, I think I was just panicking because everyone else was panicking. And he took a week and he said, all right, here's what I want to do. And he changed. He's a dentist, and obviously they shut down all the dentists. But
if it's an emergency procedure.
Right. If it's an emergency, he can still open. So what did he do? He changed all of his advertising to emergency dental services. If it's an emergency, I'm open. Just call.
And so
that's what separates the man from the boys.
That's
what Robert said in the beginning, right? That's really what separates it, because to kind of end on a good note in terms of this point, right? Fight, flight, or freeze. There's some people that just start freaking out, right? In that situation, that's flight. They're like, they want to run away. Turn everything off. We're running away from the problem. We don't want to deal with it. Just turn everything off, right? That type of reaction. And then again, right? Do you think that person was in the right state of mind? No, of course not. Because he called you back and said, you know what? I was just being whatever I was being, and I want to reinstate what we need to do. We got to pivot. Because people in these situations, it really shows who are the men, who are the boys, who are going to be the leaders, who's going to be ranked #1 on Google, who's going to get all the money, who's going to get all the clients, who's going to get all the patients moving forward. And I think one of the biggest ones terms of a story, is one of the freeze stories that I was helping out this oral surgeon just recently in New York, and they just completely froze in terms of like, I don't know what to do. Can you help me?
Yep.
What should I do? I have appointments coming in, but I don't know what to do. And they're in New York City, by the way. And anyone that's listening to this, you know what's happening with coronavirus in New York City. Everything is shut down, complete lockdown, basically. The epicenter, you could say ground zero of coronavirus coming into the United States, from Europe, from China, from all those different places. So he didn't have a choice. And he reached out and he said, listen, what can I do? What can I really do? And we sat down, went through an entire checklist to see what is working, what's not really working, what needs improvement, what really needs to be addressed very clearly, not beating around the bush, and how we can actually help him in this time. And I took my time out of my day to do that because I genuinely want to help other business owners, especially because it's one of my ideal clients. But I took the time out of my day to do that because that's what it's all about. It's about solidarity right now. It's not about just running away and freezing and fighting. It's actually about fighting a little bit and kind of really understanding this is actually who I am at the core, the identity of who I am, but also the identity of my practice, the identity of my business, and how am I going to position myself once this is all resolved.
We sent a bunch of emails out that was just like, hey, we're going to donate our time. You know, you got questions, we'll answer whatever question. Matter of fact, we have a Facebook event going on. I don't know if you've seen that. It's open to medical doctors only, you know, medical practitioners, where it's an Ask Me Anything. And this is not a fluff show. This is we're going to get down in the trenches and tell you exactly what, you know, you want to know how to do something. I will show you. I will tell you exactly what you need to know. What we do,
there'll be a link
why
in the
we do it.
description. Yeah, there'll be a link in the description. It's an Ask Me Anything with Robert. It is April 9th at 1 p.m. Central, if anyone's interested.
It is limited to 25 people, though.
Oh, show up.
Yeah.
A lot of knowledge is going to be dropped. I know that.
So we could probably do this most of the day. I'm just going to throw that out there. But I really feel like we should probably wrap this up. Stoli, where can people find you online?
So you can go to apostoli.tsilikas.com. I guess you guys can put a link around.
We'll put a link in the description
because it's very complicated to spell. You guys can go ahead and look up implantpatientsondemand.com. That is the new program under my my business, Quantum Advertising Company, that's helping out oral surgeons, cosmetic dentists that provide implant surgery, reconstructive surgery for the mouth, all that great stuff. Implantpatientsondemand.com. And yeah, that's basically it. Those
Awesome.
My top two.
Well, we will put links in the description of this podcast. And you guys know what to do if you've enjoyed the contents of this show. You can find us anywhere online at Purple Tie Guys, facebook.com/PurpleTieGuys, PurpleTieGuys.com. And as always, we love you. Thanks a lot for listening.
Thanks for having me.
All right. See you later.
See ya.
Good night.